Boom, boom. This is Ken, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we got a little bit of Azur Lane on tap today. We've got quite a few things to cover, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the Daedalian Hymn Event is ending today. So you need to make sure that you can get in there and get all the symbols of Renaissance that you possibly can so that you'll be able to utilize them inside of the shop. Sorties and build closes today, so build's going to go bye-bye as well. So this will be gone. So build away. That's all I can say. Build away with as many wooden scoops as you need to get all the ships. Brucey is in the shop. No need to panic if you do not get hurt. Okay, so just, but yeah, definitely want to get these SR ships. These are the three best. A lot of people are saying these are the three best SR ships ever. I can't corroborate that statement simply because of the fact that have not been playing since the inception of the game. I only started, like early last year. But they're the best three SR ships that I've seen and put out. So you can take that with what you do. And the reason is the skill sets. They all have a maximum skill set with all three capabilities: offense, defense, and support. So we'll have to see exactly. But you definitely want to get your hands on it if you can. So let's go ahead and talk about what we've got here and what we need to do. So definitely build all the symbol of Renaissance. Now the event will be going away tomorrow, so you'll no longer be able to run those. So if you're going for the chat screen, you need to take that into account as well. I'm not going to worry about these simply because of the fact that I already have all of the ships. I've managed to get a Kia, I got Vittorio, and I got a Brucey. Oh, I haven't got a Brucey yet, but I'll purchase her in the shop. I've got like 23,000 symbols of Renaissance, so I need 8, so I'll purchase her. So I've got her too. But if you did not get all of the ships and you want to get the chat border, you're going to need to run these to get the excess points. I did not worry about it simply because of the fact that I got all the ships, so I'll have more than enough points to actually get the border. I'm going to go do it simply because of the fact that I'm going to fully build these ships anyway, so I might as well get something for doing it because they are the three best SR ships I've ever seen thrown out in an event. So we're going to go over the skills here shortly, and they'll give you some substantive evidence to support that. But these will be going away as well tomorrow. So do them if you need to. If you got all the ships, it's not necessary. But if you don't have all of the ships, you might want to consider going ahead and run this to make sure that you have enough points. Okay, so like I say, build and sortie going away tomorrow. Shop will continue to be up. No need to panic. Shop will of course be up for 7 days. Event ends 5 today. This will be up until 12. So purchase a Brucey tomorrow after the build closes if you were not able to build her, and then you can start living her. You have 7 days to complete those mission events that I just showed you on the previous screen there. They will close on 5/12 as well too. So you've got 5/12 to get this, the chat screen. But the reason I don't suggest purchasing this ship immediately is because of the fact that if you build it, you can save these symbols, Renaissance, and spend them on other things. You definitely want to get the blueprints for FTG, which are right here. These can be used on FTG. So if you're building FTG, you want to get those. And of course, you want to get all the parts. So because this is a nice way to get 30 of them. So you want to purchase them all. And if you happen to spend, 8,000, you can probably churn out enough to actually do both. But it's easier if you build the ship, and I would not purchase more than one unless you have a bunch of symbols of Renaissance. You can use bullions to do the limit breaking. The gun, it's a good gun. If you don't have any Gold Series guns, it's probably something you should go for. It's comparable. It's a good gun, but it's not something that you need to like I gotta have this gun. It's going to change my play style. Nothing like that. You can farm it in D3, but I wouldn't go to all the trouble. If you want a copy, go ahead and purchase it from in here. Remember, you need to purchase 15 of them. You don't get the whole gun for 135. 135 is just for one of the blueprints. You need a total of 15 to actually build the gun. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the skills. As I said before, I have not been playing the game since its inception, so I am unable to substantiate anybody's claim that says that these are best 3 SR ships ever introduced in an event. But I can tell you that the best 3 SR ships ever to enter an event that I have participated in, and I've participated in quite a few. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we got here. Let's talk about the flagship first. Now remember, Vittorio Veneto is a flagship, and these skills are clearly flagship skills. But if you'll notice something, none of these say when in the flagship position. That's very important. Okay, on like Bismarck and a lot of those other ships, it says when in the flagship position, you get buff, 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 buff. Okay, this does not say that, which means you do not have to have her in the flagship position to get this buffs for the other Sardinia ships, which is an excellent, excellent setup. This allows for an expansion of fleet creation that can boggle the mind. You could conceivably stick up, if you wanted to use a couple Vanguard ships from another fleet, or maybe an entire. I would not if you're going to use her, because she gives Vanguard buffs as well, a lot of them. But it gives you a little bit of expansion to possibly throw a flagship in the actual flagship position from another faction to possibly do something really freaky. So just keep that in mind when you're doing your builds. So let's talk about these skills. We've got the Eternal Flagship. So every 15 seconds, a 75% chance to fire a level 10 special barrage. Damage is, of course, based on the skill level. But what's really nice about this is usually that's the end of the skills for most people who have the a special barrage skill, but not for her. If it fails to activate, it targets one random enemy and increases its damage taken by 10% for 8 seconds. So just another little specialty they've thrown in just to make her the second best battleship in the game behind FTG. And people are substantiating that claim. Several of them have, as a matter of fact. So that's really good. So yeah, a lot of people think she's the second best in the game, and I concur. So at the start of the battle, it increases the firepower, torpedo, and evasion. This is the Eternal Light of Sardinia. It's the second one here. At the start of the battle, increases the firepower, torpedo, and evasion by 15% for all darts, chain ships in your Vanguard. So Vanguard buff straight, all three. Evasion, very important. And increase the firepower, aviation, and accuracy by 12% for all Daedalian ships and your main fleet. Can't beat that. So every ship's covered. Every ship in the Vanguard is going to get that big evasion buff. Firepower and torpedo, of course, are good too. Torpedo is especially nice for Abruzzi, which you'll see why here shortly when I do her skill set. So for each additional Sardinia ship in the same fleet, 2 at most, you can decrease the loading time of the ship's first salvo by 40%. So that's an extra barrage. So that's pretty nice. Okay, and then Banner of Splendor. At the start of the battle, if your fleet contains at least one Sardinia ship, or if this ship has an AP main gun equipped, that's pretty much most of the main Gold Series main guns are AP, so you shouldn't have any trouble coming along with that. So increase the ship's firepower by 12%. Additionally, for the first 3 battles of the sortie, this ship takes 20% less damage from torpedoes. So this is survivability. Okay. So she's going to make herself a little tank, which is good. You want to have a flagship that's tanky, because if she dies, you know, no longer able to launch any of these skills. 3 skills, okay, can't beat that. I tend to notice that with a lot of newer ships that are coming out, is that they have a full skill set. All 3 of the SR ships have a full skill set, all 3, and that's a very unusual for, especially for an aircraft carrier, to have 3 skills. Okay, very unusual. But so she's got 3, and look at the others now. So I want to do a Kia here. Kia's a pretty interesting ship, and the fact is she offers healing. Not a lot of ships offer that. Of course, the first one that comes to mind is, of course, Unicorn. In terms of whether I'm not sure she's quite up to Unicorn's level in terms of amount of healing, but what she does heal, I think, is a little bit more important. So let's take a look at her skill set. So Freccia del Achia. When this ship launches an airstrike, 45%, well, it's actually 75%. 75% is what's in brackets, in parentheses there. Chance to launch an additional airstrike. Damage and airstrike patterns are, of course, based on the skills level. Now, here's where it gets good. Reign of Starlight. When this ship launches an airstrike, having a fighter equipped in her second slot, that's easy. I mean, just, you know, hundreds of fighters. Just click on the plane. It'll say if it's a fighter or a dive bomber, and then you choose what you want. But if you want to go for the healing, you need a fighter. Okay, and what it does, it restores 8% hit points for the lowest HP percentage of ship in your Vanguard and main fleet, and generates a shield around those 2 ships that negates damage equal to 6% of the max hit point, lasting up to 5 seconds. Okay. So what's really nice about this is when you tend to build a fleet, there's usually it's usually a Vanguard ship, of course, but sometimes it's a ship in the main fleet as well. That just not quite up to par. whether it be a sortie. What's being sortied against them, what your enemy is. Maybe they just happen to the ships that you're going up against just happen to be the ones that are most effective against your ships. So you have a couple of ships that end up taking a little bit more damage than you would like. They're going to get they're going to get a heal and they're going to get a shield. I mean, that's what it amounts to. So one on your vanguard, one on your main fleet. So that's really nice, and it's situational. Okay, so and that's what I like about that. Okay, it happens whenever she launches an airstrike. So you're going to get it a couple of times, 3 times throughout the game. Okay, so it's really good to have that. Now let's say that your fleet's doing really well. You're not having any healing issues on this particular level. You might want to just go ahead and go with something different. Then you can stick a dive bomber. So when this ship has a dive bomber in the second slot, she gains a preloaded airstrike, decreases her airstrike loading time by 10%, and increases her damage dealt by 8%. So basically, you're going from a healing situation where you can have a firepower situation. She's going to load faster, which means she's going to fire after. She's going to get a damage increase of 8%, and she's going to get 1 preloaded airstrike, which means an instant airstrike. So that's pretty good. That's really good. Now, this skill also is pretty good as well too. Disarming but deadly reduces this damage this ship takes by 12%. Okay, that's very good. 12% straight damage is really, really good. Okay, and then for every 3 enemy aircraft shot down by this ship's aircraft, increases your fleet's anti-air by 5%. It can be stacked up to 3 times, so you can get 15% out of that, which is always useful, especially in 12 and 13. Bosses in 12 and 13 are primarily carrier based, so you're going to get a lot of airplanes. I pretty much just use San Diego when I go to 12 and 13, simply because of the fact that she shoots down all the planes. She has the highest anti-air stat in the game. But this way, this gives you a little bit of an anti-air within your own fleet, not having to pull a ship from another fleet. Okay, so this is a really good skill set for carrier, and again, 3 skills. Okay, so that's very good. All right, let's take a look at the last one. It's a Bruzy. It does not get worse. It keeps in trend. As you can see, 4 skills. One of them's an all-out assault, so that's not technically a it's not a levelable skill. So she has 4 technically, but she has 3. So that's what makes this I think some of the best SR ships in the game. So let's take a look at Halo Flame. So at the start of the battle, increases the ship's anti-air evasion and accuracy by 15% for 60 seconds. Okay, so guaranteed anti-air evasion and accuracy. So survivability for herself. Okay, when the ship fires a torpedo, 70% chance to fire a special barrage based on the skill level. Pretty good. 70% chance is always usable. Okay, Solemn Zealotry. We got reduces the speed of torpedoes fired by the ship by 1 and increases their torpedo crit rate by 40%, torpedo crit damage by 40%, and decreases the loading time of the first torpedo salvo by 50%. Definitely want to put some torpedoes on her. So grab the torp sticks inside of the core shot and stick those on her definitely. The oxygen torpedoes, because I think that'll be, because crit damage by 40% is ridiculous, and the loading time by 50%. I mean, she's gonna be launching off torpedoes all the time. I like the torpedoes, good spread. So this is very, 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 very good skill. You're gonna see a lot of damage from her, a lot. And then this one is just as good, just a scratch. Reduces the AP damage this ship takes by 20% and torp damage taken by the frontmost ship in your vanguard by 8%. So if you've got a weak ship to torpedoes, you want to make sure you stick them at the frontmost ship of the vanguard. Okay, and that's facing the fleet left first ship. Once per battle, when this ship falls under 30% hit points as a result of damage taken, it creates a shield and restores 3% of max hit points every 3 seconds. For the next 10 seconds. Okay, so it's really good. I mean, once per battle, when it falls under 30 hit points damage taken. This is an unusual in the fact that most shields are just given basically by the skill. Okay, but in this case there's a requirement of falling under 30% hit points, and the reason is because of this shield blocks up to 5 torpedoes and lasts for 10 seconds. Okay, there's no shield that does that. Blocking 5 torpedoes is excellent. So that's why it's not an all-the-time skill. And most of the shields, you know, if you're running an Iron Blood fleet, they got Heinrich runes up there and stuff. They're throwing up shields all the time. Mains is they're throwing up shields, very fast and very effective shields, but they don't block 5 torpedoes. I'll tell you that much. So that's why this is not an all-the-time skill for her. She would be, she could conceivably be the most powerful ship in the game in terms of defense if you gave her that. But so the requirement is falling below 30 hit points. So for 10 seconds, she's going to have a pretty good chance of getting some, maybe get that heal if you're running her with Kia. So it's a really good skill, and then activates all out assault once every 12 times main gun is fired. So this is, so as you can see, these are 3 excellent ships. You know, there's a lot of people saying that the 3 best SR ships ever offered. You know, I can't, as I said before, I can't confirm that, but I would have to, you know, from what I've seen, they definitely are. So you definitely want to get all of these ships. I'm not going to go over these, you know, these 3. They're destroyers. They're okay ships. You know, they're okay ships. They're not great. Okay, there's nothing special about them. You want to get them for the collectability, but you know, they're going to die fast. They're destroyers, and there's just no meta for. The Torcelli, bad stat line. Not a very good sub at all. I have not heard anybody talk favorably about her. So get her from the event. You know, get her. But you know, if you're going to do the event, you know, the chat border, you might get her, level her up, break her, fully limit break her, but then just set her off to the side. There are numerous subs in the game who are much better in that terms. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back to the screen here. So yeah, good ships. You should have the capability to make a fleet now, a Sardinia fleet. They've given you everything you need. Got more than enough ships. I'll probably do a video a little bit later. These are all the Sardinia ships. You know, as I said, Vittoria's skill set does not require flagship position for activation, so you don't have to put her in a flagship. Then you can stick the flagship of another ship in there. If you want to, just for its damage that it might deal, or if you want to go a little bit, you know, fuzzy, maybe do an Iron Blood combination fleet, since technically the Sardinian and the Iron Bloods are technically allies in this particular event. You might want to throw in, you know, maybe throw Bismarck in there and then throw some ships into Vanguard, since they do have a pretty good Vanguard setup. Okay, so there's a lot of, you know, it just gives you a little bit of fleet, you know, expansion there, that you can do some stuff and have some really cool fleets that might be really powerful. Okay, so, but yeah, as you can see, I've got them all. I've got a Kia. Okay, I got Vittorio, Mestrel, Vecchio, and Torcelli, and I'll have to get a Bruzi out of the shop if I don't build her. I'm going to do some builds this evening, just to, you know, before the event ends, to see if I can't get her. Save me the 8,000, you know, shop coins, but we'll have to see. I've got more than enough to get her, so it's not something I'm worried about. But yeah, so Daedalian Hymn Events today, guys. So get in there and go ahead and knock that out. Make sure you get Vittorio. Everybody's pretty much saying that she's pretty much the second best battleship in the game behind FTG. Of course, FTG wrecks, and she has survivability, so she's still the #1 ship in the game in terms of battleships. But she's close behind. The fact that she has an excellent skill set, gives massive amount of heals to both Vanguard and main fleet. Pretty much every buff imaginable. She does not have to be in the flagship slot, which allows her playability in other types of situations, and allows you to give you a little bit of fleet expansion, so you could do some ideas that you want to be making for. And I think that's what's given her the nod to be the second best battleship in the game. All right, so that's all I got, guys. Just, you know, it's the end of today, so get in there. I'll do a video tomorrow where we'll go over the event, what I like to call filler events. The filler events will be up for, you know, because the shop is still going to be open, and you're still going to be building a Bruzi if you didn't get her, or you want to finish limit breaking some of your ships. So they give us an extra 7 days. So you know, the missions for the build and stuff, and the sorties are gone, but everything else will stick around. The shop and the limit break event will still be going on, and it'll be going on until the 12th. So there's no rush. But if you're going to go for the border, you might want to knock out those other missions today. You know, these missions will be going away. The sortie goes away tonight, so there's no way to get these. So I got all the ships, so I'll be able to get the chat border. So I didn't even focus on these. I just used ships that I wanted to level up. Working on priority ships, I used fleets that were associated with the priority ships. Seattle mainly is who I'm working on right now. So I use those ships for some of these, so I didn't have to put any of these ships in here. But yeah, if you got all the ships, you don't need to worry about it, because you'll be able to get more than enough of the points to get the chat border, as long as you've got all but one of the ships. I believe is what the actual count was at the end. All right, so that's all I got, guys. So thanks a lot for watching the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Once you've subscribed, you'll see the bell. If you click on the bell, you get notified each time I do drop a video. Also, please like and share the video, as that does help with the views and help the channel out immensely. So this is Ken coming at you from the corner, signing out.